How frustrating has this restart been?
It's not just the restart that's frustrating, it's the whole break that's frustrating. It leads into a restart that's frustrating. It just gets out there for everybody to see when it kicks off and we're not playing. And so frustrating. I mean, the first half, we have momentum, things are under control, we have good moments. Yeah, I mean, we just sometimes the way we concede goals and lose momentum in the game, and then we give up the second one right on the heels of the first one. I feel like I've seen the show before, and then then to add insult to injury, we come out and get a red card, which means we're really chasing it uphill now. And so outside of that, I'm really proud of the guys, young guys who came on and gave a huge effort in the second half, and even down a man, I felt like just put in an incredible shift. I felt through stretches, again, I thought we were a better team, which we should be. I thought we were creating the chances. I thought we looked good. I think they've been a team that hasn't lost a game in a while, so it's a team that has some momentum and some feel. I think they're very good in possession. I think we were very disruptive to their possession. They're a team that likes to press man on man. I thought that becomes a little bit of a disjointed game because we were going man on man against them. They were going man on man against us. So there weren't a lot of stretches of just real clean possession through the course of the first half. It was really like us trying to get at them trying to get at us. And I thought we had the better of it until the final 5-6 minutes of the half. So from that side, frustrating. I feel like the group is vulnerable. We get a couple guys injured or a couple this or that, and we become vulnerable. And we've got really, our margins to go out there and get results become thin, and we just can't make mistakes. We can't make mistakes because it's just been challenging. So frustrating. Sorry, that's a long-winded way to say frustrating.
Yeah. So, of course, there's no easy way to turn things around. But how do you figure out within those margins to get turn it on one side of it?
Yeah, we gotta keep battling. I mean, we're gonna be down to maybe 11 guys that are on our 20-man roster for the next game. Between guys who might be out with injury, suspension, not here. Take your pick as to reason why we might be at 11. Tonight we were at 14. Tomorrow, this game we're probably, I think I counted coming in, it was going to be 11 going into the next game. So the guys that you see in there, guys are going to have to battle and knuckle up, and we're going to go to fight the same way we fought tonight, except for we've got to try to be as clean as we can, because it was a game for me of moments, a couple moments that we tip the momentum in their favor and we give them ultimately the result. So,
Greg, you saw some offense tonight. You generated attempts. Maybe you didn't get clean looks. Maybe you didn't get clean finishes, but there was much more offense tonight than maybe we saw last Friday.
Very different game. The game against the last game was a very low block. Really just kind of condensed everything. We're operating without a true 9, so that was part of it, right? So there becomes less space to do things. Today was an open game. It's two teams going after each other. They wanted to press us. They wanted to get man to man. We were looking to press them. So it becomes, who can play out of those situations. Sometimes in combination play, sometimes guys picking up the ball on the move. It's about who can create the advantage inside of a game that is not very slow, and it's not like orchestrated builds and stuff, right? There's some little combination plays, things like that. And I thought we did a good job of managing and creating some moments that could look dangerous, and we even got into some good spots. I think Joe had a really good chance. I think it was Joe, really good chance at about 40 or 39, and then that then kind of comes to like almost like their next possession, and then we conceded. I think it was a corner kick that led to the first goal, right? But again, I felt like we were figuring some ways to unlock some of the man-on-man stuff, and we were getting Joe in momentum and building speed. Where earlier in the game, he was receiving a lot of things standing, but we're starting to get him moving, and when we can do that, then I think we can be dangerous. So I definitely think just two very different games, which I think maybe leads to a little bit of a different look,
And then on Mary Garces, can we say, 2 unnecessary yellow
discipline and clean play. I think that's just really important, just because, again, it tends to be these little mistakes that are like paper cuts to us that are, that are hurting us, killing us eventually. So it's just, everybody has to be cleaner. We have to make sure our marks are locked up on set pieces. Those are moments that we should be clean, and we should deal with those things. Picking up silly yellows, it leads to suspensions. It leads to things where we hurt each other. Eddie's suspension tonight was off of a yellow in the last game where he misses a touch and then has to drag a guy down, and now we miss him tonight, right? So it's these little things that are creating vulnerabilities inside of our group, and there are layers to the vulnerabilities right now. And so, he needs to be more disciplined. He needs to get through games clean, and by clean means no errors in yellow cards, no errors in the back. Like center backs, you have to be able to go multiple games without making a mistake that costs something. It's okay if the other team scores great goals, but to give up goals, that's part of the job of center back. Unfortunately, I had to do that for years, and so it's just, we do make mistakes as center backs, but we have to get through many games clean in order to be reliable, right?
Marco, okay?
Don't know yet.
So we don't know about this weekend.
Don't know yet.
Hawk scores a goal and backhands, it's a different game, different situation, and you watch the replay and it's like, what's he calling?
Well, I felt like that. I felt like if he calls the foul on Troy, I probably don't reverse it, because I think he steps on his foot, from what I understand. I haven't seen it, but if you call it, is there enough to overturn it the other way? But if you don't call it, then there's probably not enough to turn it there. So again, in the margins, I felt like we got 0 of the margins. I made the statement, and I'll say this to the entire league: we're in the ascendancy in their box, and I get it. It's a head injury. We stop the game. But Marco gets fouled. The ball's in front of us, in front of everybody. If they're not in an advantage, blow the whistle, check on the player, we move on. It's not like they had an advantage in the moment. The advantage is that the play carries on and we have a guy on the ground. So you can also, just out of the feel of the game, stop it. They would have been fine with it, check the player, make sure everything's okay, and then go again. But we don't allow the referees any feel for the game, and that's one. Then a feel for the game says, okay, nobody has an advantage. It's in a neutral area. Let's check the player. Instead, we let the game go because our officials aren't allowed to have field. They're only told you can't blow the whistle or you can stop the game. And so we end up in a situation that would have been very fair for them to just stop the game and check the player. Nobody was in favor in the moment. And I think it's one of the things that I think in our league we don't have. If you would see that probably in Europe, it would stop the game because there's a little bit of feel in it,
I want to follow tonight, there's no basis for goal.
Who's that? Troy?
Yeah, Troy.
Yeah, he's a hard-working kid. He's a blue-collar kid who gets out there, he runs hard, he works hard, he's got a ton of energy. I thought Harbor's just effort over the course of the game, his desire to try to make things happen was off the charts. He got himself into that, and Troy just stays with the play, and the ball gets on his foot, and he finishes it the way he should. He's a kid who's played like every position. Literally, he played 9, he's played wing. Growing up, he's played fullback, he's played midfield, he's played every position. So a good athlete, good sort of energy on the field. So tonight we use him as a 9, and he brings us a little bit of some running, some chasing, some tracking, and he got himself into some good spots. He's a good soccer player, so he's gonna grow with opportunity. He's gonna grow, and we'll figure out what is the best place for him. But right now we're using him everywhere because that's where we're at.
Hey, Greg. Thanks so much for talking to us. We saw Robert Taylor for a little bit longer tonight. Give us your thoughts on his performance and what it brings to the team.
Yeah, I mean, tough moment to come into the game, right? It's really just kind of all hands on deck. Everybody's just working. You're down goals and you're down a man, and so he's just coming in, getting himself fit, and you see some of his touches. He's crafty, and his ability to eliminate defenders. I think his vision is good. He's got soft feet. I think he's a guy who will combine with others really well, and he'll make good choices. And then I think he has a way of like skating past guys. He doesn't really blow past guys, not really running away from everybody, but he does have a way of just scooting through different windows and pockets and getting into dangerous areas. And as we saw in Miami, he has an eye for the goal as well. So, but today is more of an exercise in his fitness. I didn't want to run him too hot today because we play again run him hot today, he certainly wouldn't be able to go on the weekend. Even just 30 the other day, hammies were tight. You could tell he's working his way into fitness. So we tried to shorten his load a little bit today and just build him up little by little. So we're going to need him again on the weekend because it's a slim group.
There was quite a few chances generated today, no one to finish them. It seems like that problem might be fixed with the new signing Diego coming in. Tell us about what he brings to the side and how you think that you might implement him.
Yeah. I think again, as Josh said, we got into some dangerous areas and there were some goal scoring moments and we don't finish as many as we like tonight, but I think having a striker like Kyogo is interesting. He is a relentless worker. He will dart around the field and he's very, very smart about the spaces that he runs through and works through, and his repeatability and his sprinting is off the charts, whether that's leading the press or making little runs ahead of the ball to different spots. Most of them looking to stretch and get behind the opposition, not necessarily hovering around underneath the lines a lot. And his running in the box is clever. I mean, he's not the biggest guy, and to score 80-something goals in the Scottish League, you show a capacity to get to some really good areas. I think he benefits from being on a team like ours who does have a fair amount of possession in many games and does move the ball around where he can link up and find time to dart through spaces. I think he's very good in transition. So he's kind of the opposite type of forward as Zhao. So at times they can be an interesting combination, and I do think we also have the ability to tilt him off of a wing sometimes. So I think he has some flexibility for us. But I think it is quickly as possible. I know just like a week ago he played 60 minutes, scored 2 goals. So we're hoping we get a guy whose fitness level is solid and he's ready to jump in and get started pretty quickly. So, but it gives us again something dynamic. And has a real nose for finding spaces inside of the goal. And when I watch his goals, he scores a lot of different ways. Even as a small guy, he scores with his head. He scores with his right foot, his left foot. He's beating guys, getting behind the line, and he's showing up in the spaces, in the cutback spaces. So I find a variety of ways that he can get in, put the ball in the back of the net.
Would you expect him?
It's a visa process now, so I wish I could tell you on that. I know he doesn't have to go back to Japan to get it done. I think he can get it done in London. So hopefully that means a little faster than the other way. So, but I have no idea.
Hey Greg, 6 goals allowed in the last couple of games. You talked about multiple times now that you want to be a solid defensive team.
Yeah.
That's going to be a head-off. So when you're going to training tomorrow, what are the things that you're going to be looking to work with your group? Then to follow on that, how much do you rely on your leadership team, guys like Maya, Yaka, to kind of instill that mentality, that defensive presence when you're on the pitch?
Well, it's vital that a big part of defending is communication, it's organization, in those moments. Again, for us, a little bit in the moment. There's a little bit of a sense for us as a group that we have to manufacture a little bit of offense through defense, which means finding really moments to be aggressive and try to create transitions that we can then try to attack out of. So there's a combination of things as we continue to settle. It's finding the balance between being a pressing team and then being a very controlled sort of mid-block team and knowing how to defend your goal in lower block. So, but for us, again, scoring goals has been also a challenge. And when you look at sort of the makeup of the group, that might be the case for this game, maybe for another game. So you try to find goals in different ways. And one of those that we were getting better, I think, coming into the World Cup break was using some of our defending to create transition moments to then turn those into attacking moments that led to some goals and opportunities. So again, I think it's establishing. But at the end, I think if I go back to the game, I felt like we were solid. I don't know if they had many touches even in our box in the first 40 minutes, maybe 1 or 2. I think I don't remember, Josh, if you could remember anybody else. It wasn't any saves. I don't think. Felt like we were in control of things and we were recovering things in good areas. So again, I think it's always going to be finding balance. And when you know that as a team you can create things out of possession and stuff like that, then sometimes you can be a little bit more calculated with how much you want to press. Right now, we're trying to find the balance in that to try to instigate some attacking moments. So.
We'll transition to Zoom for the last question. Go ahead, Sophie.
Hey, Greg. The last press conference after LAFC, I asked you about conceding a second right before half-time and whether or not it was a killer, and you said you didn't think so, but definitely a momentum shifter. Do you think it was a killer tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say goals in the first half are killers, but I think the one in LAC for me was definitely a tough one. Tonight, killer, probably. I think ultimately the red card is the killer. The second goal, we might be able to find our way out of that and get something out of the game. But it's certainly it's a gut punch, and you have to rally and get back. Coming back from one is a lot different than two, so it could be. I mean, in the end, it's easy to say yes, it was a killer, but in the moment, I definitely think it's a big gut punch, and for a group that isn't scoring a lot of goals in the moment, it definitely makes things a little bit more difficult.
How frustrating is it for you to kind of be in a game where you should be 2-0 up, and then all of a sudden you're 2-0 down?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Yeah, there's no other way to put it. It's frustrating, but again, it comes down to execution, and in the boxes is so important. That becomes what decides the game. It's not necessarily what you do in between the lines or in between the boxes, but it really comes down to what we do in the boxes, taking chances, preventing chances, doing all those kinds of things. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult on the guys, but we gotta rally, and we gotta continue to battle. And again, we just gotta try to be clean. I think in some of these games, if we can just keep the game clean and keep it at 0 and give ourselves a chance to win the game over time, we're gonna find some success. But the way we're giving up goals is a little bit frustrating at the moment. So,
Thanks for your time, Greg.
yeah.
We will now be joined by Galaxy forward Troy Eldersman after his first and last goal. Questions in the room? Go ahead, begin.
Right here. So I guess you're the second greatest Galaxy player from the city of Redlands. Congratulations.
That is true. Thanks.
How did you get there? You spent, what, 4 years in college, I believe? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent 3.5 years at a school called American University up in DC, and before that, I grew up in the Patio Doors Academy system. And then after college, I went on trials a couple places, and then ended up on trial with the second team. And then from there, kind of worked my way up, and now I'm here.
Like Greg said, you played everywhere. Which is there a spot that you feel more comfortable in?
Everybody always asks me that question, and honestly, I don't really have an answer. Even in college, like every single season, it kind of changed. Club, same thing. So anywhere I can play, I'm ready.
Patio Doors, that's in Orange County?
Yeah.
Irvine?
Yeah.
Hey Troy, congratulations on the goal. Can you walk us through there? It was a pretty heroic run there from Harvard Miller that sort of sets that up, right?
Yeah. I mean, Harvard, he's so good. That goal kind of just shows how much he works through the whole 90 minutes. He put in such a shift. But yeah, I think he ran past 3 defenders, megs a guy, gets the final touch to me, and then made my job easy. And yeah, so.
Did it slow down for you? Did it flash in front of your eyes that what was happening? Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really my first chance in the game, so that kind of helped with it. But yeah, it was just kind of I didn't know if it was going to get through, and then all of a sudden it happens and falls to me, and I'm just so grateful to God that this happened. So.
And then just on the night, obviously not a good result for the Galaxy and things, but with injuries, with suspensions, with everything, it seems like you might be getting some more playing time. Does this give you confidence that you're on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big confidence boost for sure. I mean, I'm always ready to step up, whether, that's me pushing hard in training and making sure the guys that are going to be playing the 90 minutes are ready, or if it's like tonight where I'm ready to work hard for 20 minutes and hopefully get a goal like I did tonight. But yeah, it's whatever's needed, I'm ready for. So.
Actually, the emotion of scoring a goal, what is that like, and how do you balance that with the fact that the game did not go your way?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for sure. I mean, I feel for all the guys in the locker room. It's a really hard result, especially right now. And I mean, yeah, getting the goal, it's a good feeling for sure. But yeah, it hurts more to lose that game for sure. I mean, all of us work so hard, and we hope to get a result from that game. So it's all right.
It's like working with the first team. You want to impress, you want to have you have a more substantial role, you want to grow within the group. It's also a group that when it's fully healthy and everyone's here, it's a team full of veterans.
Yeah.
What's it like for you in going through that, and what's the right for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think going into that group, there's so much to learn. I mean, my first time stepping into training, I was really nervous, honestly. But you play around these guys with so much quality, and it almost makes your job easier sometimes. But yeah, what I try to bring every day is just a lot of energy, just trying to learn every day, and yeah, hopefully push the group as much as I can.
And does Greg tell you anything about how he wants to
Yeah.
or where he wants to do?
I mean, it kind of changes in training sometimes where I am. Right now, it's been primarily out wide. But yeah, he'll pull me aside after trainings. He's told me some stuff, playing with veterans and kind of working with them and letting them kind of develop things, and then me making the runs at the right time and things like that. So he's been a really good help.
Thanks for talking to us.
Mhm.
Dr. Long, Sport Tribune. You're, just like Scott mentioned, a younger player on a team with a lot of veterans. Which of the veterans are you looking at as kind of like a mentor, basically, Yoda to you?
I mean, he's not much older than me, but Justin for sure. He's helped me with a lot of things. Elijah, the whole group's been really helpful. But yeah, I would say me and Justin have started to get along. Harbor, Ruben, all those guys. So yeah.
You mentioned Harbor a couple times already. Did he kind of give you any words of wisdom or any advice on maybe joining the first team?
Yeah, he has helped me so much. He's such a good guy. Works really hard. And yeah, he's given me a lot of pointers. I remember my debut when I was just going in. It was like the bench, everybody's like yelling, like, let's go Troy. But like I can hear Harbor the loudest out of everybody rooting for me. So yeah, he's helped a lot. And yeah, such a good guy. Thank you.
Hey, Troy, congrats on your goal.
Thank
you. I noticed you stepped in that game for the 20 minutes. You really put yourself about, and got stuck in, put yourself, amongst all the duels, and made yourself a presence, a physical presence out there. Is that something, that's a big part of your game, just making your presence felt and, getting stuck in?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest aspects of my game is just working hard, which is what I try to do. I mean, you only have 20 minutes, so I should be working the hardest out of everybody there. But yeah, I love to make runs. I love to work hard, defensively, offensively. I love to kind of be loud, things like that. That's how I describe my game.
Just a couple more.
Yeah.
Just growing up, did you make it down here any games to see Landon?
Oh yeah. When Beckham was here, when Landon was here, yeah, I remember growing up, sitting with my family in the crowd, things like that. Yeah, this is the club I grew up supporting, so it really feels unreal right now.
And just how many family and friends are here tonight?
Yeah, my parents are here, my sister's here, some other family friends, and yeah, I checked. I got a lot of texts from people, watching on the East Coast, West Coast. So yeah, a lot of people in my corner, I'm grateful for.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
They have the Hall of Fame has a award for journalists every year. The guy, and it's a real prestigious award. The guy who won it this year, Steve Goff, who's Washington Post, now Yahoo Sports, American U alumni.
No way. That's funny. There's so many odd connections like that.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Steve Goff is American U.
there a correct answer, Josh?
No, no, Washington DC is my food place, so.
It's it's a really underrated city.
Like, Blue Dog Tavern is like tippity top. They also give you
Herbert Miller. Yeah.
a share for your person, like, you know, it's one of those places.
Are very rich lawyer friends.
Water Grove, so I used to live in the apartments that were back behind the school, my way, and I would walk over to Water Grove, have like, you know, a lobster roll or something else, so I go in there, drink warm pop that.
And then money for like days because you can't afford anything after
No,
that. It's pricey.
It's pricey, but it's good. Really, their French fries are good.
Two of us, not me, got fish and chips because they don't like seafood.
Oh,
Just like seafood. I just asked the guy, what would you recommend? He said, oh, number one, chili and seafood.
that's what my wife has.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's a solid spot. It's
Also, it's laid back.
Water Grill over by Southwest Plaza, solid.
Casual.
Yeah. It's out, you can, when it's real nice, you sit outside. Havana's is down the street on Bristol, further towards, like, Bristol.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run, but I'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
It's cute.
Which is probably what they did.
Havana's Bay, yeah. The Cuban way. Yeah, it's really good. My problem with them is they always have like brunch going on, or they have like certain menus. I'm like, just, I'm gonna go there. Because their mojitos are outstanding, and their pork is really good.
We will go regularly in the sense that we're all high school friends. Go to the Italian place that's over in Southwest Plaza. I can't remember. It's Mon, starts with an M.
Maggiano's?
Maggiano's, which is
It's a solid restaurant. It's still chain-ish.
but it's high.
Yes, it is. Well, it's like, so my favorite restaurant that's casual, yeah, delicious, yeah, get like a little upscale, so you can still feel like you went out with something that's called R&B or Fashion Island, and the menu's not big, and it doesn't need to be, I'll say, every time my wife and I are like, oh, we're gonna go out to eat, she's like, R&B, she's like, well, where else? R&B? Where do you want to go for R&B? Like, just R&B, and they have Gulfstream, the same people who own Gulfstream, the same people who own, there's like 3 or 4 other restaurants, and all the restaurants are similar-ish, but they all have different takes on it. So, but it's not saying R&B, you have a fashion.
I've been to Irvine Central a lot.
Which is,
So we went to Din Tai Fung because
yeah,
I saw a lot of places there.
there's a Javier's there. There is Javier's there is not like Cougar Town, like it is on the St. Louis Highway. Yeah, yeah, that's I go there for people watching. And then it is crazy.
There's so much good food. I couldn't believe how many restaurants.
The barbecue place that's kind of, so Javier's is kind of, if you go more towards the theater, like and to the right of the theater, there's a barbecue place that we just ate at, and it was decent. They
Barbecue
pretend,
barbecue or just like Korean Japanese barbecue?
no, it's barbecue, but it's like upscale, so you get to pay more for,
Because there is a Japanese revival.
is there?
Yeah, that looks on the other side. That looks really good.
Well, see, they figured it out. They had to get rid of all the stores, so they replaced it with restaurants.
Smart.
So it's not bad. We are going to, I was trying to get in there to go watch Odyssey at the, but
Actually, talking about right.
so we're going somewhere else. So no 70mm for us, but it's okay.
Nice little drive.
Postino's good. That's a good show.
There's a Postino's here? In Irvine.
Everyone.
But it's good.
It's not far away. You live in Orange County.
It's
It tastes better here because you get more, there's more air down here, so you taste it better.
Also, because don't they all use local ingredients? Where's the all local ingredients come from?
Denver. So we were just talking about sushi. Like, oh, you should have sushi like in Idaho. Like, I need to see the body of water from whence my fish came.
Where they do their own machine and put it out, and around 7 o'clock, basically, you get all these people show up around 7:30, about 7:30, picking over the wrong things.
We're now joined by LA Galaxy midfielder Trevor Miller. First question, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, Robert, thanks for talking to us. You guys are down 2-0 at halftime, and you come out of the half, and I'm sure you had grand designs on making that a real game. And maybe with all the momentum and all the chances you got in the first half, maybe something would happen, but you guys get that red card. How frustrating is it to be in that position and know that now you're really fighting uphill in that second half? And what do you guys have to do as a whole individually to get better here?
Yeah, I think clearly once that happens, it's definitely it's hard to come back from. You know, it's almost like conceding another goal, I'd say. And I think it's crazy that we actually probably played the best part of the game with 10 men throughout the 90 minutes. So I think the moral of the story is that we need to play like we did in the last 30 minutes with that want to score and that intensity and that sort of urgency to have to go attack and make plays and off the ball, attacking defensively, whatever it is. It just seems like, you know, oh crap, we're losing 2-0 now, and now we have a red card, and suddenly now we need to like wake up and all play to the max of our ability. So I think that is the most frustrating part. We need to start from minute 0 that, you know, mistakes are going to happen, that's not a problem, but it just seems that throughout everyone, including myself, I think that we can just be better in bringing intensity and being on the front foot with the urgency to go and, like, we need to win this game, we have to win this game. It's more than just playing a game right now. You know, there's a lot that we need to, especially at this moment, the way we get out of this is you got to just turn up another notch. And, you know, I think we really just need to dig deep and find how to do that.
Greg, was complimentary of your playing second half and what you were able to do well on the field. And, you know, we call it hard, whatever you want to call it, try. Is that the mentality that, and you spoke this, but is that the mentality you have to have when you're down 10 men? Is it sometimes even easier to play, so to speak, with 10 men because you know it's all go?
First of all, I think that we all need to have that heart or that drive from minute 0 through minute 90. It doesn't matter who you are or what age you are. You know, like obviously I'm fighting for minutes and I'm a young guy and you can always get that out of me. But I think for all of us, that is just that's the minimum. That is that's what is expected. And that should be our standard, especially representing this big of a club. That's a non-negotiable, you know. And I think then once everyone brings that, then the quality will show, you know, and we get, you know, some chances in the second half where I can show my quality and make some plays happen, where it's like, you know, it is frustrating because I want to be able to show the quality more than just hard work, you know, and I think that that requires a more collective understanding of what we need to do together and the off-the-ball movement and off-the-ball work that we all need to do as a team to then be able to shine in those moments. You know, first half, it just seems like we kind of just don't put each other in the best situations for us to succeed. You know, it's balls are getting played with pressure on their back, or we need to play faster to get guys open to be able to attack and use their strengths, right? Rather than sometimes we're just playing to the strengths of the opponent, and then we can't use our strengths and show our quality. So I think as the game progresses and as we need to get out of this slump, I think that's going to be a big thing, is that when we have that heart and we have that effort, then you know, we'll be able to show our quality more because we'll be in better situations.
How nice is it to see Troy get his first goal and roll in it, and you make kind of a daring run, and then you get a nice little ricochet to
Yeah, it was really cool. I actually met Troy before he came to the Galaxy. We trained in off-season together with an off-season trainer, and I met him there. And, you know, he was telling me that his goal is to get drafted and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, dude, of course, that's going to be amazing, you know, whatever. Long story short, ends up going undrafted, ends up not getting drafted. And then, you know, one day I see him in the facility. Oh, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? You know, and he's like, oh, I'm going to try out the second team. I was like, oh, amazing. Like, that's great, you know, and spoke to the staff that really liked him. And, you know, he's one of those guys that will bring that effort and will bring that that heart to fight for the badge, which I grew up that is a non-negotiable from my family and just the way I grew up that always needs to be there. And so I have a lot of respect for him because I know that he always brings that every single day, and I can see it on the training field. And so respect to him because he's worked his way from, you know, barely joining the second team and then now signing first team, and then look at him making his debut. And, you know, it was an honor that I get to, one of my closest friends in the locker room as well, that I get to, you know, give a quote unquote assist for him.
As the team is coming back into playing the games from this break, Greg talked about, you know, we're ready for Harvard to be the right back. That's where we see them. That's where we're going to be looking. This team isn't at full strength right now, so we're not at that point yet. As players come in and as players get acclimated and we start seeing the team going forward, how much are you going to miss playing higher up on the way? And how excited are you to you know, have a chance to take that position as your own?
Yeah, I think playing higher up the field, you know, you get some more exciting moments. You get to create some more, oh wow, you know, magic, people like to say in the game of soccer. So I think, yeah, I love doing that. But I think, you know, if I can really maximize my game at right back, I will still be able to get into those moments. You know, my game is definitely being the attacking right back and getting up and down the field. So I think hopefully, as you know, we can manage the ball and keep possession of the game, that I can get to my full strength of playing how I want to play as a right back. And I think, you know, right now it's wherever I can best fit the team. I know we kind of talked about this before. One of my strengths, I think, is my versatility and, you know, attacking and defending. Even, you know, playing winger, I think I win a lot of balls back for us higher up the field that, you know, turn into transition moments or whatnot. So I think I definitely will miss some of those moments for sure. But I also am willing to put in the hard work against the ball, especially if that means that, you know, it can help us get some better results.
You spoke about that non-negotiable growing up in a family where you defend the badge of everything else. Growing up in the Galaxy system, you guys have an old rival before the FC, San Jose Earthquakes. What does that upcoming match mean to you, and how are you getting prepared for that? Thank you.
Yeah, I think the first game I ever went to was Galaxy versus San Jose at home. So I think that's something that's also in the back of my mind, where it's like San Jose have a lot of young guys and they have a lot of talent, but also a lot of grit, right? And so I think that game is going to come down more to, are we going to match the grit? You know, that's what it's going to come down to, because we all know that our team has quality, but we need to match every other aspect of the game. So I think, excuse me, after these last two performances, I think that there's no other option than to come out and show who we are and show who the Galaxy are. You know, I've been a part of the academy for 10 years, and I've seen us at our lows when we finished last place in the league, and I've seen us win the MLS Cup. So I think being a part of that also has kind of scarred me to show that, hey, like, this club is more than just a club. You know, we win, we lose, but like we can get out of that, and we can find back to our winning ways. But we need to all fight like this is the most winning club in the MLS, like we are, you know. And so I think going into another rivalry match, I think that's going to be more important than ever. And so I think that's going to be the biggest message is, hey, we need to step out with the right mentality. You know, the tactics, the talent, that'll all come, but we need to step out with the intensity that, hey, we are going to attack this team, and we will do everything in our power to get 3 points this weekend.
Hey, Arbor, you talked about the work rate and the urgency off the ball. Of course, you know, 6 goals in the last 2 games, something you want to reverse that trend in the next couple of games. But I guess
think I've been a fullback and I've been a defender and deeper in the line, so I know how helpful it is when a winger defends and when a winger puts in the extra work. It makes my life so much easier and everyone else's life so much easier when we get real pressure to the ball higher up the field. Defenders can close, they can get tighter, they can prepare themselves better for any situation. And so I think I think even today, at times we could really step out and press and get after them, and we turn them over a few times, but we could really be dangerous. And so I think when we have those moments where we can step out and press and get close and get tight and nick balls and honestly recover the ball in their half, because I think we did a lot in the first half and in the second half. Even with 10 men, we created half our chances off transition. So I think that's going to be a huge side of this weekend as well. Is, hey, how can we use those transition moments to open them up? Thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you.